Hi everyone, and welcome back to our story time. Now today, I don't know if you can see the water in front of me, we are going to start with an experiment. We're going to see if we can get any of these people, and the sheep maybe, to walk on water. What do you reckon? Do you think they'll be able to do it? Should we see? Okay, let's start with the sheep. In it goes. Well, it's floating, but it's definitely not walking on the water. Okay, let's see if the fireman can do any better. Let's have a look. Oh, no, floating, face down, but no walking. Right, let's just finish off. Let's see if these two girls, let's see. Oh, one's nearly sunk. One's just floating, but no walking on the water. Let's get them out before they get too wet and cold. And you know what? If I tried to walk on water, it'd be the same, because we know that, don't we? Nobody can walk on water. It's not possible. But listen out and see what happens in today's true story from the Bible. Now, today's story takes place just after Jesus had fed more than 5,000 people with just 5 loaves and 2 small fish. And after Jesus had done that, his friends, the disciples, set off across a lake. It was dark and Jesus wasn't with them. Now, as they set off across the lake, just imagine it, the wind started to blow and the water swooshed around. Now, remember that the disciples, Jesus' friends, many of them were fishermen, so they knew all about water. And as the wind was whooshing and the waves were sloshing, they suddenly saw someone walking across the water towards them. Now, at first, they didn't know who it was. They thought it was a ghost and they were really, really scared. Well, can you imagine? Of course they were scared. You don't see people walking across water. But then they realised it was Jesus, because he spoke to them and he said, "It is I am. Don't be afraid." And when they realised it was Jesus, they took him into the boat. Now, when Jesus walked on water, well, only God could do something like that. No ordinary person can do anything like that. And when Jesus said, do you remember what he said to his friends, the disciples? He said, "It is I," or "I am." And that's a really important thing that Jesus said, because "I am" was one of the special names for God in the Old Testament, a long, long time before Jesus. And it was a name that God gave his people at a time when he was about to rescue them. So by walking on the water and by saying "I am," Jesus was showing his friends, the disciples, not just that he is God, because only God can walk on water, but also that he is the I am God, which means that he never changes, that he's always the same, and also that he rescues his people. And that is amazing news, because if Jesus never changes, if he's still God, then it means that he's still in charge of our world, and it means that he can still rescue us from sin and death. Now, that is something worth singing about. So in a moment, join in with us as we sing "Jesus is the King."